that will start today's competition on vault. For parkettes, Christina Desiderio. For Twin City Twisters, Abby Paulson. From Cincinnati, we have Emily Gaskins and Amelia Hundley. For Legacy Elite, Gabrielle Perea. For Girls Co-op, Hope Maciedo. For parkettes, Megan Freed. For Everest, Emily Shield. From parkettes, Molly Frack. And from Kids Sport, Lexi Ramler. Ready to compete on uneven bars. Please welcome from Tiger, Polina Shenikova. From Chow's, Alexis Vasquez. And Nora Flatley. From Brandy Johnson's, Sydney Johnson Sharp. From MG Elite, Jasmine Foberg. From Gym Academy Atlanta, Megan Skaggs. From Bart Connor, Alexandra Marks. From MG Elite, Lauren Hernandez. For West Coast Elite, Felicia Hano. And for MG Elite, Ariana Agripides. These are the gymnasts of the 2013 Secret U.S. Classic. And now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please rise and remove your hats? Here to perform the national anthem is Chicagoland vocalist Maggie Mitchell.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Maggie Mitchell. Gymnasts will now prepare for their first competitive event in today's 2013 Secret U.S. Classic for junior women. Gymnasts participating in the first half of Rotation 1 may now begin the warm-up. Our distinguished panel of judges for today's competition include on vault, Shelley Stack, Elizabeth Crandall, Anna Lee, and Carol Bung. On balance beam, we have Cheryl Hamilton, Christy Phillips, Tabitha Yim, and Linda Mulvihill. On uneven bars, Jenny Rowland, Pat Panichis, Judy Schalk, and Chelsea Memel. And officiating on floor exercise, Sylvia Brestjen, Sharon Weber, Maria Di Cristoforo, and Sherry Mann.
Welcome to the 2013 Secret U.S. Classic. I'm Amanda Borden alongside Samantha Peszek, and we're excited to be inside the Sears Centre here in Chicago, Illinois, gearing up for our junior international competition. And boy, is it going to be exciting.
That's right. We're so excited to be here. There's an enormous amount of talent out here today, including 5 returning national team members. But the pressure's on because for the majority of the athletes, this competition is their first at the elite level.
Well, whether it's their first or they're a veteran, every one of them has the same goal, and that's to qualify to the P&G Championship, which is coming up in August. Stay tuned. Coming up next is the Secret U.S. Classic.
This concludes the warm-up period for the first half of Rotation 1. Starting off on vault for Parkettes will be Christina Desiderio, followed by Twin City Twisters' Abby Paulson and Cincinnati's Emily Gaskins. Now on balance beam for gliders, Lauren Navarro. And starting off on floor exercise for Texas Dreams, Veronica Holtz.
transferring double fold to a stag leap for her third pass. It's extra bonus points to do an acro tumbling pass into a jump.
We're going to see a variety of different combinations throughout this entire competition. Post-Olympic year, the code changes, everything changes, and this is a big rebuilding year for all of these athletes. Finishing with that double pike.
Next up on bars is Nora Flatley from Chow's Gymnastics.
Sam, you remember standing here waiting for the judges to put the flag up, going through your routine, trying to keep your nerves.
The worst, but it really it trains you for international competitions and even bigger meets beyond the U.S. Secret Classic.
And we were talking earlier, for these athletes, this event has been on the podium since 2010, and what a great experience for this junior division. They prepare more often on a podium because competing on a podium is definitely different.
I think it's a great idea to add an extra competition in the United States where they're on podium and can get the extra experience they need. And Nora's coached by Chow, who's coached an array of champions in the recent past. Gabby Douglas, the 2012 Olympic champion even.
She mounts the bars. She was waiting for a long time. Really key, she keeps her nerves under control. Lots of combination work. Nice handstand there.
She looks very calm. Good rhythm.
Beautiful extension on a release move, Jaeger. See a lot of these athletes performing those pirouetting moves, and it is key that they're hitting that vertical line every single time like that.
She has a very high difficulty in her bar routine. And it looks pretty clean as well. This should be a high score.
Beautiful double layout, great landing. New to this level of competition, she really handled her nerves on the first event. Next up on beam, we have Miley O'Keefe from Salesianos out of the Vegas area. Brand new to this elite program. She came out of the developmental program this year.
Since this is the building year for USA Gymnastics, we're going to see a lot of new phases out here on the competition floor today.
Well, this can be a tough event to start on. A lot of adrenaline. Very important you stay under control. Tumbling series, layout, step out. I believe that was supposed to be a layout 2 feet. She was completely crooked, so she got that 1 foot on. With that being the first skill of her routine, Sam, you've been through this before. How difficult is it to get back up there and finish the routine?
So difficult. The important thing is to kind of refresh your mind, refresh your body, and start from scratch right here. Let's see if she can do it.
Oh. Beautiful leap combination, and then missed a pretty easy part of that combination, the standing back tuck.
She took a second to get back on the beam, so maybe she's regained her confidence.
And we've talked about how so many of these athletes are new to this junior international level. There's a lot of pressure. Getting out in front of this crowd on the podium, especially on the balance beam, is a tough feat to do. But as athletes, we've all been through it. Got to get out there and start somewhere and then learn from your mistakes.
It's an opportunity for all of these young girls to catch Marta Caroli's watchful eye, because we all know she's in the arena.
While she finishes up her beam routine, Nora Flatley earned a 14.3 on uneven bars. Another balance check there. It's really looking like she's just doubting every single landing.
A lot of big skills, a lot of connections. You can see her potential. Maybe the nerves just got to her a little bit, and she can pick it up for the second event.
We're going to move over to the floor exercise. From Precision, we have Kennedy Edney. This is always one of my favorite events because you get to show your personality and dance. Sam, what about you?
I loved it, and the podium makes it even bouncier.
A big double tuck there, and you can see landing on that sting mat. That is allowed.
The goals for these girls is to stick each of their passes, but for juniors, they are allowed to take one step on one of their passes. One and a half front full. There are a few code changes for this quad, most notably on beam and floor exercise. Stuck that last pass.
For all of the athletes and the coaches, this year is a rebuilding year and the opportunity to try to relearn the code and how to earn those points. Remember, the score, part of the score is from difficulty. That's where they start from 0 and earn points. And then, of course, the execution starting from a 10.0, and that's where the deductions happen. Like that right there, coming up a little bit short.
And again, for a lot of these girls, it's their first time competing on the podium, so it does feel a little different. It takes a few times to get used to the balance and the equipment.
We're going to move right over to the bars. From MG Elite, we have Jasmine Fauberg. This is her first junior international competition. I had a chance to talk to their coach, and she said we were very confident coming into this competition, but they've been a little bit nervous in the workout and the warm-ups. No problem there on the Ginger, a little leg separation though.
Nice back salto.
Coming up a little bit short on those vertical lines on that last cast and the giant full, but solid dismount.
She got through that first minute, and sometimes, Amanda, that's the most difficult one to do.
I agree. In the middle of the beam routine here from Woga, we have Lauren Farley. We've talked about different elements in the code, and some of those being the connections. They're really watching how quick the connections are and the circling of the arms.
Second half of the routine seemed to be solid.
We go back over to floor from North Stars, Alonza Klopfer. We have a lot of juniors competing in this division, so all 4 events are going on at the same time. Big opening there. Double Arabian. She did take a step. Remember, like Sam said, they can take 1 step on one of their tumbling passes. That means on the rest of her tumbling, she's going to be going for the sticks.
1.5 double. We're getting a lot of dramatic music today.
Some nice tumbling. She is taking those steps. Those are deductions, obviously.
Very clean flips in the air. Nice consistent floor routine.
Going back to the balance beam from Buckeye Gymnastics out of Ohio, Nia Dennis. She is one of the 5 junior national team members here at this competition.
Her amplitude is incredible on beam. She has a few flipping exercises, and they could almost touch the ceiling, Amanda.
She's been in this position before, so handling the pressure should be no problem. But as we all know, starting on this event is difficult even for the experienced. Difficult turn there. And always a crowd pleaser.
You can tell she looks pretty confident.
Wow.
Solid. Wow. Incredible, Arabian.
You can see that level of amplitude you talked about. When the judges on this event are obviously looking for those connections, looking for small balance check there, but looking for the full splits. But then when you add that amplitude to it, it really is going to help in the score. Oh. Wow. Backhand
She
spring
is
layout,
so
step
powerful.
out. Yeah, and you know, when you're a little bit crooked, you add that power behind it. It's a lot more difficult to stay on. She almost looked like she had it.
And the beam is actually more bouncy on podium as well. So if you're not used to competing on this type of surface, it is going to take a little time to adjust.
Well, and as every athlete knows, every athlete has to compete on the balance beam, so it is not over for anybody. Solid side semi there.
A lot of front salto combinations we'll probably see today with the new code.
Dismounting, double tuck, came up a little bit short, looked like she was going for the stick. Not her best routine, but 3 more events still to go.
A little shaky this first event. You think it's the nerves?
Day.
Let's do it!
Hi.
Outlast your day, any day, with Secret's 48-hour odor protection technology. New Secret Outlast.
Last day, Deb. Checking out of the Hilton shouldn't be a pity party. Your next trip is calling. Saying, Deb, find a view for 2 at a Conrad. Or, make room for more at an Embassy Suites, Deb. Or, Deb, lead a victory dance at a Hampton. So chin up, love, and never stop vacationing. Book during the Great Getaway for great rates at our 10 top hotel brands. Travel is calling you to HiltonGreatGetaways.com.
What's something that's slow that you wish was fast?
Turtle.
Really? A turtle?
Yeah.
And what about you?
I would rather be a slow turtle.
Well,
I know why. Because when you're slower, you won't have to get in the street as fast and get ran over.
but if you're a slow turtle and you're in the middle of the street, what happens? Austin? Exactly.
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network.
In gymnastics, anything is possible because it's not just about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not just talent. It's training. It isn't every 4 years. It's every single day.
USA Gymnastics and AT&T invite you to see gymnastics like you've never seen it before. Go beyond the training and straight into the hearts and minds of America's Olympic hopefuls as they follow their dream to represent the United States at the Olympic Games.
Visit att.net/Team USA and watch each episode of Behind the Team. Follow the fun and the friendships of these amazing athletes and hear their incredible stories in their own words. Because in gymnastics, it's not just about their dreams, it's about the journey, and anything is possible.
This concludes the second half of the warm-up for rotation 1. Starting off on vault will be girls co-ops Hope Maciedo. For parquets, Megan Freed, followed by Emily Shield. When warm-ups conclude on uneven bars, it'll be Alyssa Ronstadler. And now on floor exercise for Arite Deanne Souza.
Welcome back to the Secret U.S. Classic. We're in the second half of rotation 1. And on floor for Arite Gymnastics, Deanne Souza.
Real quick, the score for Nia Dennis on beam was 13.6.
Sam, we finished that last rotation, or the first half of the rotation, noticing there were a lot of nerves out on the floor. Remember, 30 of these gymnasts new to this junior international competition, and it's mistakes like that, coming up short on passes, not used to the podium and how that affects the landings, balance checks on balance beam. But once we get this first rotation underway, I think we'll see some nerves calming down.
Yeah, and those are mistakes that, you know, will erase over time with experience. So I should expect not to see those mistakes from the veterans in this competition, like Amelia Hudley and Bailey Key, which were coming up next.
Solid landing there. We mentioned a lot of the athletes hoping to qualify for the P&G Championship coming up in August. This is the last and final step, but for some, they're also just getting into that full competition readiness. Solid routine.
Souza of Arite on floor exercise. Coming up next on balance beam for Woga, Alyssa Balvin.
Catching Alexandra Marks in the middle of her bar routine. Nice extension there on a Jaeger. You can see she's a very tall gymnast. They actually have to raise the bars for her, which is allowed if your feet hit the mat. But you can see that also creates great extension and beautiful lines.
Beautiful lines, especially when she hits handstands like those.
Oh, coming up short there in that double Arabian. That's where being tall sometimes makes it a little harder to get enough rotation to complete the skill. It looked like she was just a little tired.
Coming up next on uneven bars for Mark Potter, Alexandra Marks.
Expecting to see a solid performance from Bailey Key coming up next. She was on the Italy team just this year and was at the championship competition last year, a returning national team member.
That's right, one of the 5 here at this competition. And we use the word veteran because they've been here before, but remember, all of these athletes very young. It's very exciting to see so much talent in our junior program.
Yeah, it's a building year. You know, you have the top juniors like we had already mentioned, but there's a lot of newbies coming up that are showing big skills and have a lot of potential for this quad.
And that's right, even though we've seen those small mistakes, they're throwing the big skills, and if they can learn how to handle the pressure, we have a
really
great future.
Their feet wet. Their first taste in an international elite competition right here at the Secret U.S. Classic.
Sometimes takes the judges a few extra minutes to calculate those scores. Remember, in the difficulty area, they're working from that 0. The more difficult the skills, the higher the difficulty score is. And of course, execution, when they take those steps on the tumbling passes, that starts from a 10, and they deduct those points, and they come up with the final score. Still waiting for Deanne Souza's floor score.
Bailey Key just about ready to start, coached by Kim Smeskel-Brzett and her husband, Chris.
Double Arabian, big opening there.
Solid double Arabian to a stag leap for those extra points.
Well, that tumbling pass can be hard because it's a blind landing. Not only that, but she connected right out of it.
1.5 to triple, a little stumble on the landing, but pretty solid in the air.
For Souza, she scored a 13.25. You mentioned one of her coaches, Kim Smeskel-Brzett, great friend of mine as well. This is a piece of music that you would have seen her performing to. bubbly, upbeat.
Front handspring double fold to a stag leap, a little off center, but the stag actually helped her keep her calm, keep her cool, so she didn't take an extra step.
And she stayed in the bounds. It always amazes me. For me, it's been 17 years since I did this. You're still in the action, but the amount of skills and tumbling passes, finishing there, double pike came up a little bit short, but tremendous endurance for these athletes.
Bailey Key of Texas Dreams on floor exercise. Coming up next on vault will be Kids Sports Lexi Rambler.
There's both Kim and Chris. As we move back to the uneven bars.
For MG Elite will be
Lori Hernandez from MG Elite. She's really creating a buzz around this gymnastics community, let me tell you.
Well, she has some tremendous difficulty packed into this bar routine.
Also a returning national team member.
And she's so fun to watch because she's just aggressive and she has that fun, bubbly spirit to her.
When they were warming up, I just, couldn't take my eyes off of her. Her gymnastics is very big and aggressive, and she just adds that little pizzazz that makes her stand out from the rest.
And what I love most is when she made a mistake or, was struggling a little bit, it didn't really faze her. She got off the bar, looked at her coach, got her corrections, jumped back up, and got the job done.
Yeah, she looks pretty confident to me. They seem to be holding athletes a little bit longer on these competitions. It's probably because of the new code, so it takes the judges a little bit of time to also adjust and make sure that they're all on the same page when they're scoring the athletes.
She got the green flag. Big combination right here at the very beginning of her routine. Opens with this full twisting stalder. Directly connected, a little close, but great save. Wow.
Huge amplitude on that release move. Lots of releases in this routine.
Unique combination there. She changed her grip on the low bar, so she was able to connect those combinations. She winds up for that dismount.
Nice. Clean, lots of difficulty. That should be a good score. Here on floor, we have Ashley Foss. She goes to North Stars.
Lots of personality right here in the opening of this routine. See a lot of the gymnasts posing into their passes. Another new code requirement.
Leads off with a full in. One and a half, almost got that stuck landing on the double tuck.
You can see her fighting for those landings. One pass to go.
Oh, little short there.
I know for me personally, this meet was a lot of times the first meet that I was putting all four events back together. And you can see maybe on the landings or the endurance is where they're lacking.
Which I think will come at the P&G Championships in August, where they'll have another month to prepare. And from that competition, they are looking to earn a spot on the national team. The top 6 automatically make the national team.
Going back over to the uneven bars for West Coast Elite, we have Felicia Hano. she has a unique release right at the beginning from the low bar to the high bar, where she adds a half turn into it. You see a lot of athletes do this. Turning right there to the high bar, a little bit of form deductions.
It's impressive seeing a lot of the juniors throwing big skills these days.
Great save there. Came up a little bit short on that blind change to the Jaeger, but held on tight.
Lost a little bit of swing, but she seems to be getting it back together. A little short on that handstands. Definitely getting the rhythm back on her giants.
Finishing full twisting double back, small step. And for Lori Hernandez on bars, we had a 13.55. Polina Shenikova started out on the uneven bars. So far has earned the highest score of the day with a 14.35.
Now on floor exercise for ace, Alexandria Ruiz.
Next up on bars is Lori Hernandez's teammate, Ariana Agripides, who also kind of, has the same sort of flair that her teammate Lori has.
Well, they're very aggressive in training, on top of the fact that they have some very big and very difficult skills. Like you mentioned, for the juniors to be performing these skills is incredible.
And both of these girls, although they're so young, they seem to carry themselves really well in this competition. They seem pretty calm, pretty collected, ready to do their bar routines like they've been practicing.
Very confident. For Ariana, it's probably nice to have a teammate who has been here before, because for her, this is her first international competition.
I think knowing what to expect at a meet like this is crucial.
In the last few years, they've started the developmental program and the Hopes program, and it's really given these kids a chance to perform on the podium in this type of setting. So they might have been on a podium before, but not at the Secret U.S. Classic. Oh.
She rushed her release move a little bit and couldn't quite get her toes up to catch the bar.
It's the very beginning of her routine, so she has a lot to finish.
Caught a little close there.
Winding up, finishing double layout. Nice landing.
Nice double layout dismount.
Very first release move, Jaeger, came off a little bit early. But these big skills for juniors, that's what happens. Judging your timing a little bit.
They'll go home after this competition, know what they need to work on, and hopefully at the P&G Championships, everything is going to be right on key and target to make the national team.
Well, that's what I always say. Nobody ever wants to make mistakes, but that's also how these athletes learn. They make the mistake, and now she'll go back and probably make sure that never happens again in practice.
Yeah, definitely.
Finishing it out on floor for this first rotation from Ace.
Grace Wagupak.
Now on floor exercise for ace, Grace Wagupak.
also from an up-and-coming club gym. Like Amanda said, the Hopes program is really growing, and the developmental programs is giving a chance for a lot more clubs to enter into the international elite world.
Opening with the triple full, large step back.
Oh, punch double full. I think she had a little bit too much power there. Big step forward.
I remember my first time on a podium. That's the kind of stuff that happened to me because the podium does add a little spring to the floor. Plus, you have adrenaline on top of it.
Luckily, she didn't go out of bounds. She saved herself, so she didn't get that deduction.
Much better landing there on that double pike. And that completes our first rotation of the 2013 Secret U.S. Classic.
Introducing Olay Fresh Effects Unstoppable Skincare. When every day is a new adventure, there's a new skincare lineup that can keep up. Start fresh and finish sparkling 24/7 with new Olay Fresh Effects. Catch them if you can at OlayFreshEffects.com.
What's the biggest number you can think of?
A trillion, billion, zillion.
That's pretty big. How about you?
10.
Okay. How about you?
Infinity.
Can you top that?
Infinity in 1.
Actually, we are looking for infinity plus infinity. Sorry.
What about infinity times infinity? Oh.
It's not complicated. Bigger is better, and AT&T has the nation's largest 4G network.
Hey, Dad, look at me.
Want to help your children land on their feet? A USA Gymnastics member club provides a safe, comfortable environment where kids of all ages can develop the skills they need to achieve their true potential. Who knows how far they might go?
Yeah.
Speak your mind up.
Today we will crown a national champion.
Shannon, the most decorated American gymnast in history.
A lot of things at stake in these national championships. Destiny comes true for Nastia Liukin.
Here is your national gymnastics champion, a dream come true.
Come celebrate 50 years of champions at the P&G Gymnastics Championships in Hartford. Tickets are on sale now.
Let's show this first.
We're
gonna.
Coming up on an even bars, once warm-up concludes, will be Cincinnati's Emily Gaskins. Now on balance beam for Chow's Nora Flatley. And starting off on floor exercise for Salciano, Miley O'Keefe.
We are starting rotation 2 back at the balance beam.
Nora Flatley from Chow's Gymnastics, and she's one to really watch on this. Wow. I couldn't even finish my sentence. Beautiful rhythm, very confident, and stuck that landing.
Tons of amplitude. You can see that perfect body alignment on that layout. A little balance check there, and I believe that was supposed to be a combination.
Showing off her flexibility.
You mentioned those
front aerial,
side aerial. Wow. You mentioned the front combinations. My goodness, 3 of them in a row.
I did.
The judges obviously looking for a clean rhythm there, and they do have to be quickly connected.
Very clean beam worker.
She scored a 14.3 on bars, so a great start to her competition. And so far going very well on this event as well.
Her coach also coached Olympic beam champion Shawn Johnson.
Wow, great routine.
Wow. She's definitely going to be one to watch in the future.
Going over to the uneven bars from Cincinnati Gymnastics, Amelia Hunley.
She's been on the national team for 2 years, so she has a few experience competing on the podium. Also traveled to Italy the past 2 years. Very consistent.
One of the 5 junior national team members here at this competition.
Coming up next on balance beam for Brandy Johnson's Sydney Johnson-Sharp.
This is her last year in the junior division. Next year she'll be a senior.
Going through her bar routine in her head one more time. She waits for those judges. We've seen a lot of waiting on bars. Her teammate, Emily Gaskins, just finished her routine. Brand new to the junior elite division. I watched her come through the developmental program, but what a great experience for her to have somebody like Amelia,
and
as well as
Priestman,
their senior athlete.
We're going to see tonight. Amelia's going through those cues in her head. Senior bar routine, taking a big deep breath.
Lots of pirouetting right here in the beginning. Up to the high bar.
Nice handstand.
Big release there. Looked like she came in a little bit close, but was able to push back out of it.
Very clean bar worker.
All that's left is the dismount. Out of a combination,
Wow,
full
that was
twisting, double back.
routine.
She always seems so calm and collected to me. In the middle of her floor routine from Woga, we have Lauren Farley.
Looks like she tripped a little in her run there, but pulled it around.
Lauren Farley of Woga on floor exercise. Coming up next on uneven
Next up on vault is Bailey Key.
Up next on vault for Texas Dreams, Bailey Key.
She opened up on floor exercise with a 14.0.
This is also Bailey's last year in the junior division, and next year she'll be joining Amelia in the senior competition.
We see a variety of vaults in the junior division. Yurchenko full, the most common, which has a start value of a 5.0. We've also seen some double fulls. They earn 0.8 more right off the top with a start value of 5.8. Wow.
Very clean landing.
Gets that higher start value, 5.8. Beautiful body alignment in the air and a solid landing. Nice vault.
Definitely one of our top juniors in this competition.
And back to the floor exercise from Buckeye, Nia Dennis.
I can't wait to watch her floor routine.
Well, my goodness, her amplitude on beam, which has a little bit of spring to it, but not like floor. I can only imagine.
Hopefully she can stay in bounds. That's going to be the tricky part for her.
Well, and hopefully she's regained her composure after making that mistake on beam. That's not something that is typical of her.
She seems to be waiting a long time also.
Now on floor exercise for Buckeye, Nia Dennis.
I saw her a few years ago at the Nastia Cup, and she amazed me there with her amplitude on beam, really all four events, to be honest with you.
Wow. Huge double layout to start with. Looked like she almost walked into that pass. It was so easy for her.
Another big pass there.
Solid landing.
Pass that we saw Allie Raisman do, and of course she added on to it.
To be a junior and doing these huge passes, you can only imagine what they're capable of when they get a few years older in the senior division.
She brings that power and dynamics to her dance as well. One step into this pass. Wow.
A little extra power on that double pike, but a very dynamic floor routine.
Well, she struggled with that fall on the balance beam where she got a 13.6. But definitely she picked it up there.
On the second event.
Going back to the uneven bars, for girls co-op, we have Hope Maciado.
This is also her first competition at the elite level on a podium.
She had a couple struggles in the warm-up. But as my coach, Mary Lee Tracy, always reminded me, the warm-up's just to get on the equipment. Training is what gets you through those moments.
I usually did better when I messed up in the warm-up. I don't think
get the mistakes out of the way.
That, but
yeah. Can barely even see Hope. She's standing behind her coach, Sandra. And now she's ready.
Stalder Tkachev. Doing a good job of hitting those handstands.
That's what I was just going to say. You see a lot of the athletes performing similar skills. It's all about getting those handstands. Judges looking specifically for the vertical line. Came in a little short and struggled on that cast.
Losing a little swing. The rhythm is a little slower. Hopefully she can pick it up for the dismount.
Looks like she stumbled her hand a little bit. Finishing full twisting double back, came up a little bit short. You could see it coming. She was losing a little bit of momentum. That's that level of endurance and strength. Like I said, they still have a few weeks before the P&G Championship where they really help to get stronger on the endurance and those dismounts.
On floor, we have Melissa Greenstotler from rebound.
Nia Dennis scored a 14.6 on her floor routine.
Four and a half to double, a little short and a little pike on that landing. You know, Amanda, I think it's really hard to stick a pass very clean. You know, although it's a deduction, you see most of the girls taking a step or a little hop backwards because it's almost impossible to land in a stuck position straight up and down on floor.
Well, and then we see the athletes going for the sticks and coming up a little bit short.
A little short on that double pike.
Beautiful dance throughout that routine.
A lot of height in our leaps. Just need to get those tumbling passes a little bit more around.
And back over to the bars for parquettes. We have Megan Freed.
She's only 13 years old, wow.
And you can see just how tiny she is. She came out of the developmental program as well this year. So for these athletes, this is a huge competition.
My first time competing on podium, I was 12, and I really didn't even know what was going on, so sometimes it's better not knowing.
That's right. Opened with the Tkachev, little close to the bar. Oh, great save there. Very impressive combinations for such a young athlete.
Coming from a very established club, I'm sure they prepared her well.
And solid dismount. Nice bar routine. Now we're back over to the floor exercise. Alyssa Bauman from Woga.
I love their sparkly red leotards. Wow, starts off with a 2.5 punch front layout full. A lot of connection bonus with that pass.
Another twisting pass there. Variety of ways to earn those difficulty points, obviously combinations, but also those big skills. If they can put the big skills into those combinations, even better.
Another twisting pass, combination twisting pass. I think she's pretty good at twisting. It's pretty safe to say.
You always see, you saw Nia's routine, lots of flipping, combinations with flipping. can really see the athlete's strength when they get to floor. Are they powerful, or do they incorporate some of those twisting combination passes to earn that difficulty?
Oh, finishing with a double pike. Little short hop on the landing, but overall pretty solid routine.
And a beautiful routine. Of course, she wrapped up the first half of our second rotation on floor. We'll be back with the second half.
This concludes competition in the first half of rotation 2. Gymnasts participating in the second half may now begin the warm-up.
Who's gonna step up? Oh! Look who it is!
Watch, Mom, look at me!
Want to help your children get the hang of a happy, healthy life?
Look at you!
A USA Gymnastics member club provides a safe, comfortable environment where kids of all ages can develop the skills they need to achieve their true potential. Who knows how far they might go?
Good girl.
With Secret Outlast, conquer your busy day.
Let's do it!
Hi.
Outlast your day, any day, with Secret's 48-hour odor protection technology. New Secret Outlast.
Winning 2 Olympic gold medals for Team USA still doesn't feel real to me. Achieving my dream feels like a dream. I hope I can inspire people to take AT&T's pledge to never text and drive.
My reason to pledge is for both of my families, my host family and my family at home. Find your reason and take the pledge to never text and drive. No text is worth the risk. It can wait.
Take the pledge now at itcanwait.com.
Introducing Olay Fresh Effects Unstoppable Skincare. When every day is a new adventure, there's a new skincare lineup that can keep up. Start fresh and finish sparkling 24/7 with new Olay Fresh Effects. Catch them if you can at OlayFreshEffects.com.
Welcome back to the Secret U.S. Classic inside the Sears Centre here in Chicago.
Starting off on beam, we're going to have Lori Hernandez from MG Elite.
She had a big bar routine that scored 13.55. Lots of skills packed in this routine also.
Nice amplitude, solid on those landings.
Getting that first skill set underway, very important. Oh.
Trying to regain her composure before this big combination.
Oh, wow.
She just couldn't do it. Maybe another second waiting before she flipped would have done the trick.
Still has a lot of this routine left. You can see just small balance check on even something as simple as a full turn. A lot of that's just confidence. And on this event, confidence comes with repetition of competing in this environment. So this is a great stepping stone for her as she heads to the P&G Championships in a few weeks. Beautiful there.
Solid. Sometimes after a fall, you get a little angry and you get a little bit more.
Then you start attacking the event.
You attack it.
Big dismount, double pike. I'm sure not the routine she was looking for, but besides that fall, she had a lot of skills and she was pretty solid. Back over to the uneven bars where Molly Frack of Parkettes is chalking up. She'll be up next. Another one of the 13-year-olds in this competition.
So tiny, so tiny.
Every gymnast has their unique chalk up routine. Water, chalk, and sometimes even some sticky stuff.
Not a fan of that, but I think she is.
Yeah.
I think you could see that. Getting a last-minute pep talk from her coach.
Now a floor exercise for Woga, Samantha Borden.
Checking the board. Wasn't quite in the spot that she wanted. Her coach is going to have to figure that one out.
Kind of taking her time to get to her spot, knowing the judges are still working on the score before her. For Emily Schild, who's actually leading the competition after the first event. Lori Hernandez scored a 13.35 on her beam routine.
And that was with a fall. So the potential of her beam, you know, is incredible.
Well, her difficulty score was a 5.9, and that execution, the fall showed up in the execution score of a 7.45. So tons of potential there. Remember, a fall is 1 point of a deduction. And Molly Frack mounts the bars.
Solid cast handstand. Sometimes that's all you need to get a good routine started. Solid release.
Nice combination work here.
Samantha Ogden, a Woga on floor exercise.
Good rhythm. She's really staying with this bar routine.
And all that's left is the dismount.
Seemed like she opened up a little in the air there, but seemed to pull it around.
Well, when you're little like that, you can always seem to pull it around. Big skills for such a young gymnast. And handling the pressure well.
Yeah, tough combinations there.
Up next on vault for Texas Dreams will be Grace Quinn. Coming up on uneven bars for kids sport, Lexi Rattler.
Waiting for her floor routine from splits, Venetia Bradley.
Balance beam for MG Elite, Ariana Abraham.
Up on vault next, Grace Quinn from Texas Dreams. From this angle, it almost looks like she's wearing a tank leotard.
They have that tan mesh, kind of
Yes.
blends in with the skin.
Now on floor exercise for splits, Benasia Bradley.
They have a block there, that yellow block at the end of the runway, so the girls can't run longer than the runway.
Yurchenko layout full.
Lots of power.
She almost piked down just a little bit, so she had a few steps back on the landing.
It almost looked like it was a timer for a double, so maybe that's what she's training.
I was just going to say, it definitely looks like she's going to be able to add on to that vault.
Maybe we'll see it at the P&G Championships in August. Because she has already qualified, but not everyone at this competition has. Next up on beam, Ariana Agripides, MG Elite. Her teammate, Lori Hernandez, just went. Lori did have a fall, so let's see if her teammate, Ariana, can pick it back up here.
This is probably the event that I hated waiting for the most out of any of the events, because this was the event I just wanted to get on, hit it, and get off.
She does. She looks a little nervous, maybe a little anxious, wants to get on the beam.
Well, so far the balance beam has been tough for everybody in this competition.
I'm thinking there might be a little extra spring in the podium this year.
Well, I know for me this event was difficult in competition because I had to kind of tame my nerves and control my adrenaline. This is the one event that adrenaline doesn't necessarily help you. Sometimes it can hinder you by moving a little too quick or starting a skill before you finish the first. So really catching your breath, slowing your breathing down, and staying in control on this event.
Coming up on uneven bars for Targets will be Christina Desiderio.
And I know for me, getting the first skill out of the way was half the battle. Solid there.
She seems to do that well.
This will be the test. Oh, small balance check, but she stayed on.
Huge amplitude in that layout. She's moving her feet a little bit on those landings, but saves it.
You can almost see them bounce out of their landings a little bit, and like you're talking about with the podium and that extra bounce in the beam, they really have to learn to absorb it, even though the beam still moves a little bit.
Landing on the beam instead of landing with the beam instead of on the beam, if that makes sense.
That's definitely a new experience when you've spent most of your life not on a podium. Oh.
Grabbing the legs when you're about to fall is never ends well.
Well, that's tough. A punch front on beam, you cannot see the landing until the landing is there. And so if there's any doubt, which you could see, the minute she hit, she turned and grabbed those legs. It's really tough to save.
See if she can hit this dismount.
Oh, wow. Lots of height. Almost came out a little too early.
She almost did a stag jump after that dismount.
That is not bonus on beam, only floor.
Only floor.
We're going to go.
Maybe someday.
That's right. Going to go back over to the bars. Another member of the Parkettes team, Christina Desiderio.
Huge Tkachev.
You can see that little bit of form on her twisting elements.
Nice dismount, pulled in a little bit, but she landed with her chest up, and I think she stuck the landing.
Well, all three of the Parkettes girls, lots of skills, very young gymnasts, and a lot of potential. We're gonna head back to the balance beam from Tiger. Polina Shenikova, a lot of experience.
She was born in Moscow, coached by her parents, who were on the Soviet national team. Sounds a little familiar.
I'm pretty sure they can give her tips on how to handle this kind of moment.
She's competed at the Visa Championships the past 2 years.
She's a beautiful gymnast to watch on all 4 events. Great extension through her legs and her lines. She started out on the uneven bars where she scored a 14.35. I believe that's the highest score of the day so far. And you can see it right there.
Long,
wow.
lean legs. Beautiful toe point. Really adds the artistic aspect to her gymnastics. Switch ring, blind landing.
Beautiful. Oh.
Looks almost like the gymnasts are second guessing their landings.
Either that or you might be right. There might be extra bounce in this beam. You can see she has beautiful skills. She's just not locking in on those landing positions. And of course, with the new code, so much of this and their difficulty score is on the combinations. If there's any balance check or arm movements that are not allowed, they do not earn those points. Wow.
Very crooked on that back handspring full. Couldn't quite bring it on. I don't know if the judges will take into consideration the extra bounce in the podium that we've been talking about.
Not so sure about that.
She's just so beautiful to watch.
She is beautiful to watch. We've talked about how difficult the balance beam is in general. Quite often, this event makes or breaks the competition for a lot of athletes. And at this point, whoever can stay on this event will definitely stay in the running.
Clean dismount.
Her dad, one of her coaches, giving her a hug. Not the routine they wanted, but we're moving now back over to the floor exercise. From Woga,
Nadia Cho. Last pass, 2.5. Little step to the side.
Nadia Cho of Woga on floor exercise.
For Christina Desiderio on the uneven bars at 12.75.
And Ariana Agripides, 12.5 on balance beam.
Coming up on balance beam.
One more balance beam routine to go. Alexis Vasquez of Chow's.
Teammates with Nora Flatley, so we can expect to see some similar combinations.
She started on the uneven bars where she scored a 13.2.
She warmed up an amazing triple salto combination, so hopefully she can connect it for this routine for the extra bonus.
Polina scored a 12.85. Here it is right here, Sam. Oh, she got the first 2 connected, and then we'll perform the third one by itself.
But stopping the connection is definitely better than going for the triple salto and falling. So she was able to regain and make this side aerial.
Beautiful switch ring there. All those jumps where you take your eyes off the beam can be very difficult to land.
Another triple series. Wow, we can't stay on the beam today, can we?
I can tell you a lot of these gymnasts will go back to their gym, and this is where they'll be spending time handling pressure.
Lots of beam routines.
Lots of beam routines. Numbers on this event. and figuring out ways to try to put them under pressure to be able to hit this routine when it matters. Because I can tell you, these athletes probably do this routine over and over and over in the gym and never make this many mistakes.
So true, and that comes through experience.
I know for me personally, this was a tough event to handle in competition. Had to really start working on visualization and believing that I could handle the pressure when it mattered on this event.
I think mental routines, mental preparation is just as important as the physical preparation.
I was going to say, I've watched you as a UCLA gymnast, and this definitely is an event that's no problem for you. So maybe you should be giving some advice.
Yes, yes.
Nice dismount. And that concludes our second rotation here at the Secret U.S. Classic.
With Secret Outlast, conquer your busy day.
Let's do it!
Hi.
Outlast your day, any day, with Secret's 48-hour odor protection technology. New Secret Outlast.
Last day, Deb. Checking out of the Hilton shouldn't be a pity party. Your next trip is calling. Saying, Deb, find a view for two at a Conrad. Or, make room for more at an Embassy Suites, Deb. Or, Deb, lead a victory dance at a Hampton. So chin up, love, and never stop vacationing. Book during the Great Getaway for great rates at our 10 top hotel brands. Travel is calling you to HiltonGreatGetaways.com.
What's something that's slow that you wish was fast?
Turtle.
Really? A turtle?
Yeah.
And what about you?
I would rather be a slow turtle.
Well,
I know why. Because when you're slower, you won't have to get in the street as fast and get ran over.
But if you're a slow turtle and you're in the middle of the street, what happens? Austin? Exactly.
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network.
In gymnastics, anything is possible because it's not just about perfection, it's about persistence. It's not just talent, it's training. It isn't every 4 years, it's every single day.
USA Gymnastics and AT&T invite you to see gymnastics like you've never seen it before. Go beyond the training and straight into the hearts and minds of America's Olympic hopefuls as they follow their dream to represent the United States at the Olympic Games.
Visit att.net/Team USA and watch each episode of Behind the Team. Follow the fun and the friendships of these amazing athletes and hear their incredible stories in their own words. Because in gymnastics, it's not just about their dreams, it's about the journey, and anything is possible.
With Secret Outlast, conquer your busy day.
Let's do it!
Hi.
Outlast your day, any day, with Secret's 48-hour odor protection technology. New Secret Outlast.
Last day, Deb.
before I miss it.
On floor, Jasmine. Jasmine Fauberg from MG Elite. Nia Dennis just went on vault. Amazing Yurchenko double fault and stuck the landing perfectly.
As we start the third rotation, like you mentioned, this is Jasmine Fauberg of MG Elite. Clean combination there, finishing with double full. Nia's vault earned her a 15.25. That is the highest score of the day on vault.
Two and a half, a little stumbly on the landing. Very sassy choreography. Their coach Maggie actually makes it up.
Oh.
Just caught her legs there and couldn't take it back, step back to save it.
Remember, coming off the balance beam, she also had a fall there. Sometimes it's hard to regain momentum, but with it, there being 4 events, you have to leave that event behind and get back in the game because, like we mentioned, everybody has to go to that event. We're going to take a look at Alyssa Bauman's vault from Woga. Nice, clean Yurchenko layout full. Remember that vault starts from a 5.0.
She landed with her arms and her chest fully up. We'll get no deductions for the pike.
And back to the uneven bars. Out of Utah and Arete Gymnastics, Deanne Souza. She scored a 14.15 on her last event, the vault.
Only 12 years old.
Also one of the many athletes that came out of the developmental program this year. And for her first competition, she's been very solid so far.
Giant full Tkachev. She's really locking out her handstands.
Oh. Wow, lots of amplitude on that release move. She just didn't get the dowel of her grip over, and so of course she peeled right there at the bottom.
She caught her fingertips. I almost thought she was gonna hold on. Couldn't quite do it.
Beautiful leg extension on all of her skills. Big dismount, trying a full twisting double out. You can see that little bit of pike there at the end.
All the difficulty is great, but if you can't make a routine, it doesn't help you so much.
Yeah, and she has a lot of years ahead of her to master those skills. Moving right over to the floor exercise.
Megan Skaggs. Familiar floor music here.
Megan is from Gym Academy Atlanta. Nice combination work there.
She seems to be getting her bonus from the leaps and the combination passes rather than the very big tricks that we saw some of the other girls compete.
Like you mentioned, not the biggest skills in that routine, but it was solid.
These girls are so new, they're just missing a little bit of the polish that you see from the senior competitors.
Gonna go back over to the uneven bars for Texas Dreams. Next up is Bailey Key.
Like we mentioned before, she's been under pressure. She's had these situations before.
Deanne Souza, right before her, with that fall, scored a 12.4.
Little far on that Jaeger.
That's where experience comes into it. You mentioned a little bit far, but you know exactly how to reach. As long as they can get that dowel of their grip over the bar on those release moves, quite often they're able to hold on. Beautiful.
Awesome stuck landing, good clean routine. She looks like she's done this before.
We're gonna go back over to the floor exercise.
Alexandra Marks.
We saw her on the uneven bars as well. Talked about her long line.
Front layout punch double full. Everyone seems to be stepping out of those landings. It might benefit them to do a jump after it to kind of control their pass.
You can see her fighting there for that landing. We mentioned earlier that the gymnasts strive to land with their feet together, sticking the passes. Anything less than that is a deduction, although on one pass they're allowed to step back.
Breathing a little bit before this pass. Double pike. Back to back with her last pass. 2.5, saves the landing, doesn't go out of bounds. Nice floor routine.
And back to the uneven bars for North Stars. Out of New Jersey, Ashley Foss.
Coming up next on balance beam for Everest will be Emily Shields.
Bailey Key scored a 14.25. And Megan Skaggs on the floor exercise scored a 14.0.
Difficult combination right from the start.
Up to the high bar and back, both with the release moves.
Lots of different varieties of Shaposhnikova, all considered different skills.
Finishing with a double layout, you can see that pike down and of course the step, but lots of releases packed into that routine.
Up next on uneven bars for ace will be Alexandria Ruiz.
Next up on floor, little Lori Hernandez. This is something to watch.
She is packed with power, and on top of that, a great performer.
She really sells her floor routine. Double Arabian Stag. Full in, stuck.
I think that's the first stick we've actually seen as she moves right into the dance.
She can dance. She just posted the top score at the National Elite Qualifier in Pennsylvania just about a month ago. Front layout, punch double full. It's fun to watch her on floor. She really looks like she's enjoying this routine. She must have lots of endurance.
I was just thinking that because to perform this long takes actually a lot more endurance to perform like that, and finished with the strong double pike. Great routine.
Little stumble in the last pass, but it was nearly perfect.
Going back to the uneven bars from Ace Gymnastics, Alexandria Ruiz. Ashley Foss from North Stars scored a 13.05.
Little loose, but caught the Jaeger.
You can see those feet coming apart. A lot of times we learn these big skills. Sometimes the form gets lost, but that's where they'll spend a lot of time focusing in on the details. Oh, wow. Came off a little bit early on that double front.
Thought she was going to save it with a step back.
That's a tough landing because you're landing a blind landing. Can't see the floor before it's there. Sometimes it's hard to judge when you come off early like that.
So anxious to finish the routine. Sometimes you rush the landings, which seems to be happening a lot today.
We're going to head back to the balance beam. It's been a difficult event as Molly Frack of Parkettes mounts the beam.
Let's see if she can do it.
She's had two great events prior to the balance beam.
For an aerial leap connection.
You mentioned on bars, sometimes the younger you are, the less you realize that you're doing a tough competition. Back handspring layout there, no balance check. And that might be better on this event at this point.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be fazed by the podium or the big arena at all. Very focused on her routine.
And lots of skills packed into it. All that's left is the dismount. Finishing double tuck.
Wow, very solid routine.
One of the youngest members of the competition, and no problem staying on. It's a great quality.
Was she able to handle the pressure, or does she feel no pressure? That is the question.
Rotation 3.
Well, that
Competition will now resume in the second half of rotation 3. Starting off on ball for splits will be Venetia Bradley, followed by gliders Lauren Navarro and Woga's Davian Cho. Coming up on uneven bars for ace gymnastics will be Grace Fagaspak. Now on balance beam for kids sport, Lexi Rambler. And on floor exercise for MG Elite, Ariana Agrapini.
we are starting the second half of our third rotation back on the floor exercise.
Ariana Agripides, MG Elite. Teammates with Lori Hernandez. Shaking it already.
Big open tumbling pass there as she comes back with a second big tumbling pass.
Double pike, lots of power. These girls are so much fun to watch on floor.
So far, 3 passes, and all 3 passes have incorporated 2 flips.
These girls must take dance class. Hip hop, maybe.
Something a lot of gymnasts struggle with is performing. They can do the tumbling passes, but then performing and drawing the crowd in. Oh. It almost looked like she stumbled and then her feet got stuck in the sting mat, tripped on it.
She took a few steps back and then went out of bounds. That is almost the same as a fall. Maybe next time she won't have that sting mat there.
Yeah, it almost looked like the sting mat got in her way. As we head back to the balance beam for parkettes, Christina Desiderio. She has some powerful tumbling packed in this beam routine as well.
She's taking a big deep breath. She looks a little nervous.
Well, her teammate Molly Frack before the break nailed her beam routine. Maybe got some momentum for the parkettes team on this event.
Yeah, seems to gain a little bit of confidence from that.
Creative full turn and mount.
Now on floor exercise for Tiger, Polina Shenikova.
Setting up for her series. Back handspring, 2-footed layout, solid. Very nice. She has really good rhythm throughout this beam routine.
Looks very confident.
She's continuous. She keeps moving. She's calm.
You can see that calm in the landings. We talked about landing with the beam, not fighting it. So far, she's done a great job at that.
She seems very comfortable up there. Back handspring, 2.5. Very nice beam routine.
And a big smile. It's always a relief when you dismount that event and you stayed on the entire time.
Coaches also had a big smile. A lot of celebration throughout the parkettes team right now.
Heading back to the uneven bars. Next up from Texas Dreams, Veronica Holtz.
Also known as Nika. Did very well on floor.
Polina Shenikova of Tiger on floor exercise.
Waiting for the judges.
Now on uneven bars for Texas Dreams, Grace Quinn.
Here she goes.
Ariana from MG Elite on floor exercise got a 13.0 with that stumble on her last pass.
Stalled her full.
Beautiful line.
Stalled her shaposh. Good combination right here.
Almost held that handstand to let the judges know. No problem with a vertical line in this routine.
Little far, but she was able to reach and grab that bar.
Wow.
Good clean bar routine from Nika.
Nice bar routine. Back to the balance beam. From Twin City Twisters, Abby Paulson. New to the junior elite scene.
Looks like that was supposed to be a switch ring, but didn't quite get her foot up all the way. Very sharp here.
Abby won the Secret Classic last year as a Hopes gymnast, so not in this competition. Last year as a junior elite, but she's been on this floor before.
Front aerial Sisson split jump. Not quite connected, but you can tell the potential there is to get the extra bonus points in the connection value from those skills.
Whoop, little hesitation there. Of course, a major balance check there on the landing.
Looked like she was a little crooked going in, but was trying to get the connection.
But super impressed that the youngest members here at this competition are hitting this event. Not perfect, but great. And back over to the floor exercise.
Gymnastics.
Alexis Vasquez.
I'm expecting some big tumbling from these Chow's girls. Sean Johnson and Gabby Douglas always had very powerful tumbling. Very clean double tuck.
Coming right back with another pass. Actually, a leap pass. Looked like she was going to tumble again.
Alexis Vasquez of Chow.
She seems happy with that floor team.
Grace Quinn of Texas Dreams on uneven bars.
Back to the balance beam from Cincinnati Gymnastics. Emily Gaskins.
Amanda, being coached by Mary Lee Tracy, tell us what that's like.
Well, you know, it's always great when I'm at these events and I get to see her. I respect her so much. It's been 17 years since I was in the Olympics, so she has been doing this for over 20 years at this level. But, you know, it was so great for me as an athlete with Mary Lee, and I know Emily and Amelia and Lexi, who we'll see in the senior division, is Mary Lee is great at not just coaching, but helping them prepare for these competitions and really giving them that empowerment that these competitions come down to the athlete. It's their level of confidence and them attacking the event. Now that I'm a coach, I very much appreciate her even more because she has no control when her athletes are up on the event.
For an aerial split jump, nice connection, no movement with those arms.
Emily started this year in the developmental program and has had great success bumping into the junior international elite division.
A little short on that switch half.
Emily also competed in the Junior Olympic circuit as a level 10 and qualified to the JO Nationals.
Lots of lead combinations in this routine, trying to pick up as many bonus points as possible. Nice clean stuck dismount.
Not a bad beam routine for the first time in this type of competition.
Is Mary Lee going to be proud of her for this routine?
Well, I can tell you, after living through me and not being able to stay on the beam when I was this age, she has to be pleased with that because that means she has a lot of potential. We're going back over to the uneven bars. From Colorado Aerials, we have Emily Mullenhopt.
Another young one in this competition, only 13 years old.
Very exciting for our junior program to see so many young athletes. We've seen tremendous skills at this competition.
Dora Flatley
We've talked about the inconsistency, but there really is a bright future for these athletes. And like I said earlier, for some, they're still trying to qualify, but they still have a few weeks prior to the P&G Championship.
Nice high Jaeger.
Oh, an extra swing there.
Extra swing's gonna cost her, but at least she didn't get off the bar. But trying to pick up the rest of her routine from having no swing is pretty difficult.
Yeah, lose that combination. But she regained her composure, finishing there. Getting a pat on her back from her coach as we move back to the balance beam. The Amelia Hunley from Cincinnati Gymnastics standing full.
Seasoned junior.
After 2 rotations, she was in second place in the all-around with a 29.1. Just behind Nora Flatley.
Nice combinations. Lots of bonus with these.
Now on floor exercise for Brandy Johnson's Sydney Johnson Short.
Amelia's already qualified to the P&G Championships, so this meet for her is really good to try new combinations, new skills.
And get back out into this competition environment. On
yeah,
the podium.
it's been a while. The hard thing about elite gymnastics is they only have a few competitions throughout the year. So each one is a huge pressure situation to train all year for only a few competitions.
Dismounting there.
Well.
2.5. And bumping right to floor exercise. We have Sydney Johnson Sharp.
Daughter of Brandy Johnson.
That is the team that I watched when I was a gymnast, the 1984 and then the 88 team, which Brandy was a member of. They were my definite heroes. And at that point, I didn't know if I wanted to be an Olympian, but I was very impressed and just thought they were absolutely amazing.
Well, she's definitely a young one on this scene.
This is one of her best events. She's a great tumbler and a great performer. Nice landing there on the double tuck. And it's interesting to watch her mom, who's also been in this situation. She seems to stay very calm, and I am not sure that any coach is calm, let alone when it's your daughter.
Yes. She said she used to dance a lot. Her mom used to put on music, and she would dance for hours in the house. I guess it's paying off now.
That's right. And there's Brandy right there with a big hug from coach and mom.
I saw her this morning.
Checking out of the Hilton shouldn't be a pity party. Your next trip is calling. Saying, Deb, find a view for 2 at a Conrad. Or, make room for more at an Embassy Suites, Deb. Or, Deb, lead a victory dance at a Hampton. So chin up, love. and never stop vacationing. Book during the Great Getaway for great rates at our 10 top hotel brands. Travel is calling you to HiltonGreatGetaways.com.
What's something that's slow that you wish was fast?
Turtle.
Really? A turtle?
Yeah.
And what about you?
I would rather be a slow turtle.
Well,
I know why. Because when you're slower, you won't have to get in the street as fast and get ran over.
But if you're a slow turtle and you're in the middle of the street, what happens? Austin? Exactly.
It's not complicated. Faster is better. And AT&T is the nation's fastest 4G LTE network.
In gymnastics, anything is possible because it's not just about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not just talent. It's training. It isn't every 4 years. It's every single day.
USA Gymnastics and AT&T invite you to see gymnastics like you've never seen it before. Go beyond the training and straight into the hearts and minds of America's Olympic hopefuls as they follow their dream to represent the United States at the Olympic Games.
Visit att.net/Team USA and watch each episode of Behind the Team. Follow the fun and the friendships of these amazing athletes and hear their incredible stories in their own words. Because in gymnastics, it's not just about their dreams, it's about the journey, and anything is possible.
This concludes the warm-up for the first half of rotation 4. Starting off on vault, MG Elite's Lori Hernandez, followed by West Coast Elite's Felicia Hano, and MG Elite's Ariana Agrapides. Coming up on uneven bars.
Okay, wait. Oh.
Alyssa Bellman.
She's a scratch, I guess.
Balance beam for Texas Greens, Bailey Key. And coming up on floor exercise for parkettes, Megan Freed.
Welcome back to the 2013 Secret U.S. Classic. We go right to the vault with Lori Hernandez. Yurchenko double full.
Pulls it through, had a little bit of struggle in the warm-up, missed her hand. Had a little bit of a scary fall, but was able to pull it through for the competition when it matters.
Well, that is a competitor, that is for sure. So go right to the balance beam. Bailey Key, Texas Dreams, big tumbling pass there.
Solid 3-scale series. Little wobble on this connection for an aerial split jump, straddle jump.
Bailey third in the all-around after 3 events. Of course, heading into the toughest event of the day.
Sometimes I like ending on beam because you can be calm. You used up all of your adrenaline on the power events, vault and floor, and beam. You're able to just stick with it and stay calm.
Well, she looks like she's in a great rhythm.
Nice switch ring.
Little bit of a pause there. She's catching her breath.
Must be something big coming up. Back handspring, triple full.
Solid routine and a great meet.
Bailey Key of Texas Dreams on balance beam.
Back to the uneven bars for Woga, Alyssa Bauman.
Going up next on vault for MG Elite will be Ariana Agrapides, followed by
A Woga gymnast, they always seem to have very good bar routines.
Little struggle there on that landing, but stayed on her feet.
Yeah, her chest was up.
Next on uneven bars for North Wind will be Reagan Smith. Coming up on balance beam for North Stars, Ashley.
Heading back to the vault, another MG Elite gymnast.
Ariana Agrapides.
She has a lot of power packed in this vault. Also performing a Yurchenko double full. It's a big vault for a junior. In the warm-up, she had so much power, she was over-rotating.
Maybe next year we'll see a 2.5.
She's got to control the power straight up off the table. Step back, but a big vault.
Lots of distance from the table, which is always what the judges are looking for.
Now on floor exercise for Everest, Emily Shield.
Next up on floor, Emily Shield from Everest. Front handspring double front. Haven't seen any of those in this competition yet today.
Well, she has a lot of power. She opened this competition with the Yurchenko double full that scored very well, and now finishing on another power event. Oh.
1.5 to double. It looked like she got her heel out, but no one raised the flag. Double pike a little short. I remember this is my biggest struggle coming to the elite level, is building the endurance for 4 tumbling passes.
Well, and these aren't easy tumbling passes. Double flips, combinations, great landing there.
Emily Shield of Everest on floor exercise.
Emily Frack next from parquets on floor.
Ashley Foss of North Stars.
Molly Frack.
She has looked like she's had a great time throughout this entire competition. If she's nervous, you definitely can't tell. She nailed her beam routine. And only one event to go.
Her teammates and coaches are right in the corner, seem to be laughing and joking. Maybe helps calm her nerves.
Big balance beam score for Bailey Key of Texas Dreams, 15.0.
Polina Shinikova just went 13.6 on vault, also on the national team. I wonder what's going through her head right now, Amanda.
Well, you know, she kind of looks around. Looks like her teammates, you can see them kind of in the background. She's looked back at them a few times.
I think her teammates are trying to see themselves on the big screen.
That's definitely a neat part of this competition. Getting to be in this venue on the podium, the same place the senior athletes compete.
This is going to be a fun routine. She's already smiling. She can definitely get cute points still. Stuck double pike.
Nice combination there.
I think this was my floor music the very first time I competed at a classic. When I was 12, and I'm sure I looked similar. Big curly hair, blonde hair.
And a big smile.
Yes, yes. All about it. She seems to be engaging with the crowd. Really getting everyone involved in her floor routine.
And a great crowd here in Chicago. Very appreciative of great gymnastics.
Setting up for her last pass. She didn't even start in the corner.
And didn't even finish in the corner.
Doesn't need the extra room.
What a day for Molly Frack. Brand new to the junior international elite scene. Quite a day. We're going to go back over to the uneven bars. From splits, we have Venetia Bradley. Getting some last-minute instructions from her coach.
It's almost good that they're holding them at such a young age so they can experience this early, learn how to handle their nerves, get a mental routine going when this happens in the future, because it will happen.
That's half the ball game at these kind of competitions, is handling the pressure. We know all of the athletes here have done lots of numbers and repetitions.
Marta Hurley and the other selection committee are definitely looking at these young juniors to see who can handle the pressure.
Oh. Wow, it looked like her hands were completely on the bar and she just didn't grab it.
Now in floor exercise for kids sport, Lexi Rattler.
She looks a little out of sorts.
Yeah.
I bet she doesn't fall on that too often. Not quite sure where to start from her routine. And on the floor, Lexi Ramler from Kids Sport. Stuck double pike.
We've seen a lot of the athletes fighting for those sticks, but there it was.
Beautiful dance. One and a half front layout. She looks a little taller for a junior. I like this lime and black leotard. It looks like lime is a popular color at this Secret U.S. Classic. The MG girls also wearing lime. Nice routine from Lexi Ramler.
Lexi Ramler of Kids Sport on floor exercise.
Molly Frack from Parkettes ahead of her, scored a 13.6. And heading back over to the uneven bars for Charter Oaks, Lauren Navarro. Just testing her board out.
Yeah.
She's not actually starting her routine.
I was going to say she didn't salute yet. At this phase in the game, you usually remember those things.
On balance beam for Texas Dreams, Veronica Holtz.
Her coach also blocking her. That must be the appropriate coach stance.
Opening right up with the Tkachev. Beautiful line and toe point.
Oh, a little too much swing on that pack salto. Hits her feet on the ground. That will be a big deduction, but she was able to continue the bar routine.
And a great save, because that was a big combination on the low bar.
Yeah, she seems to pick up a rhythm. Her tap is over the bar.
Had that one mistake, but finished strong, and we're back over to the balance beam with Veronica Holtz from Texas Dreams.
Nice side summy. Solid 3 series. Nika looks very calm and collected.
Coming off a big score on the uneven bars. 14.55, the highest score of the day.
She's looked pretty consistent all day. Definitely someone that Marta and the other selection committee is going to look out for. She is already qualified to the P&G Championships, but it looks like this is a very good warm-up for her. Hopefully she can put it in her pocket and then do the same thing all over in a month.
Well, lots of confidence in this routine. Small step there, but a solid routine. You can see her coach, Kim Zamesco-Burdette, in the background, very excited about that routine.
For such a young gymnast, and this being her first year as an international elite, she seems very polished to me.
The Secret U.S. Classic for junior women. Alexis Vasquez, followed by teammate Nora Flatley and Randy Johnson, Sydney Johnson Short.
We're back inside at the Secret U.S. Classic and back to the balance beam. This is the last half of our final rotation, starting off with Grace Quinn from Texas Dreams.
Now on floor exercise for Twin City Twisters, Abby Paulson.
Hopefully her teammate Nika gave her some tips after her amazing beam routine. Side aerial looks like she's starting to get in the groove of things. I love how sharp these girls are on beam.
Well, she nailed that tumbling pass, and that seems to be where a lot of the mistakes have happened in today's competition.
Beam seems to be going better by rotation 4, though.
You have to wonder if the athletes that were in rotation 1 and 2 just had a little bit too much adrenaline, a little too much excitement for this event. Small balance check there on her side semi.
Setting up for the dismount. Nice dismount, big step back.
And over to the vault next. From Chow's Gymnastics, Nora Flatley.
Abby Paulson of Twin City Twisters on floor exercise.
She's had a good meet so far. Hopefully she can finish it up on vault.
Next on vault for Chow's will be Nora Flatley.
She's about the same size as the vault table. It's amazing.
Is she even as tall as the vault table?
She may not be. A lot of power packed in that body. Yurchenko full. Little bit of a pike down, but super impressive that she can get over that table.
Good tight positions in the air. I'm sure she's working an upgrade, knowing Chow.
We're going to head back over to the floor exercise. And for Cincinnati Gymnastics, Emily Gaskins. Another impressive performance for one of the young competitors in this competition, only 13 years old.
Now on balance beam from Colorado Aerials,
I'd say she's handled herself pretty well today.
We mentioned earlier it's nice to have teammates like Amelia Hunley, who's an experienced junior, and the senior Lexi Priestman we'll see a little bit later tonight, to kind of give you the ins and outs of this kind of competition and how to handle the pressure.
It's interesting to watch the different gymnasts wait. Emily Gaskins didn't move a muscle. Other gymnasts like to fidget around, walk around, get some chalk. Strong lead off pass, 1.5 to double tuck.
Emily has a little bit of a dance background. You're going to see that in her floor routine. Beautiful turn. You'll notice it mostly in her footwork and her extension or releve.
Layout front full. The turn she did before that pass. The Memel. Chelsea Memel's actually here judging. I wonder if she's on floor. Lots of flexibility in this routine.
You can see Coach Mary Lee Tracy in the corner there, along with her daughter, Rachel.
Very pretty 2.5.
Grace Quinn scored a 13.6 on the balance beam.
Stuck double pike. Very clean routine.
What a great meet. I have watched her grow this year at the developmental camps at the beginning of the year. She looks like an experienced competitor out there.
She does. Look at that walk, too.
I can tell you Mary Lee Tracy is proud of that day. It's a first-time junior elite to hit all 4 events.
Very professional. You can see Marta Caroli, along with the selection committee, sitting right behind, right next to the vault table. I know she saw that floor routine.
And Emily's teammate, Amelia Hunley, next up on floor, but we're going to take a look at Megan Skaggs' vault.
From Gym Academy Atlanta.
The next gymnast coming up on an even bars will be Woga's Lauren Farley. Now on floor exercise for Cincinnati, Amelia Huntley.
Amelia Hunley on floor.
Both athletes saluting at the same time.
At the top of the all-around right now. She needs a good floor routine to potentially seal the deal. Nice double layout.
Lots of power in that pass.
Very energetic music. 2.5 layout. Very clean.
Little stumble there on the turn, which seems like an easy skill compared to these flips. However, the turns sometimes are the most difficult.
I know I always liked energetic music too. It kind of helped push me through, give me a little bit more adrenaline throughout this routine. Amelia also has a dance background. Her family owns a dance studio.
Another combination pass here. And another great landing.
Like Bailey Key, this meet is good for Amelia. Although she's already qualified to the P&G Championships, she can debut some new routines, new connections, see what works, see what doesn't work, to have some time to fine-tune her routines before the P&G Championships in August.
Great routine and a great day.
Got a big head nod from Mary Lee there.
I remember those head nods. That's a good sign.
Coming up next on balance beam for North Stars will be Alana.
Back to the uneven bars.
Lauren Farley.
Another Woga gymnast. Release combination. Finishing with a difficult double front blind landing. Took a step forward.
Got that sassy bun there.
Coming up next on uneven bars for Buckeye, Nia Dennis.
Gonna head back to the balance beam. Alonza Klopfer of North Stars. Emily Gaskins from Cincinnati Gymnastics on floor exercise scored a 14.0.
Now on floor exercise for Legacy Elite, Gabrielle Faria.
Being one of the last few competitors in the competition, it's difficult to stay focused. Alonza seems to be very calm, waiting for the salute. solid back handspring layout. Front aerial, side aerial. A lot of those combinations today.
Much different style than we saw from Grace Quinn from Texas Dreams, who was very sharp and rigid on this event. Alonza moving with much more fluidity, not as sharp in her movements.
A little slower rhythm, but it seems to be working well for her. Another attempt at a switch ring. Not quite there, though. I'm sure she's going to be working a lot of those back in the gym.
And a big dismount.
Solid beam routine. She's had a pretty consistent day.
Nia Dennis back on the bar. She already had one fall on a Tkachev, and she has another one right there, no problem. She had so much amplitude on the first one, she just wasn't able to catch it.
She caught a little far away on that release move as well, but was able to make it happen.
Oh, hit her foot on the low bar. Great save.
I think it's safe to say she has lots of power. A few mistakes today, but I think it's all just because she wasn't controlling her power. Well, I had difficulty with that. You know, sometimes on bars and beam, you have to only go with 80% of your momentum instead of 100% like she does on floor and vault.
Right, that's what I was going to say. Power's great on floor and vault, but a lot of times it's harder to control on bars and beam. And last up on balance beam from Arite, Deanne Souza.
Only 11 years old.
She just came out of the developmental program.
It's amazing how good these girls are, even being so young.
How old were you, Sam, when you came onto the elite scene?
I was 12 years old. I was the youngest member on the national team at age 12. So being 11 is
quite impressive.
Yes.
I was still in the Junior Olympic program at 12 years old. I was doing level 10, so.
Sometimes it's hard being so young, being part of such an intense elite program, but it's a coach's job to make sure that they stay healthy and they stay loving the sport. But girls at such a young age being this good, you can already tell that they have so much passion for the sport.
And that's definitely key in this elite level. The other great part of being at this level so early is getting that experience that it takes to handle the pressure when it matters. I know for me it took a while to understand how to handle my adrenaline and handle the pressure. By the time they're on the senior scene, they should have no problem.
Yeah. And for Deanne, I'm sure the Olympics is in her far future, one of her goals. But she's not even age eligible for the next Olympics in Rio 2016. So she really has to learn how to pace herself with all of these tough competitions. Finally got the salute, the okay to go. Mounts the beam, doesn't seem phased by the long wait. Big amplitude on that split leap.
Looks very calm. Small balance check there on our back handspring layout.
Nice turn. Into a side aerial back tuck. Not a perfect connection, but that's what she's working towards.
Lesser Rhinestadler of rebound on uneven bars.
Lots of skills packed in this routine.
Oh, wow. She had such a nice routine going. Sometimes packing the kitchen sink, as we say, into a beam routine is good at such a young age because you can figure out what skills are easy and consistent and what skills you might want to take out in the future.
And a big dismount, double tuck. Well, that concludes the fourth rotation. We'll be back to see the standings.
Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes today's competition for junior women in the Secret U.S. Classic. How about it for all of these incredible athletes? Right now, our athletes will be clearing the floor to prepare for the award ceremony. And fans, while this concludes today's early competitions, please stick around to honor these athletes as we crown the 2013 Secret U.S. Classic Junior Champion.
Well, here are the standings for the 2013 Secret U.S. Classic. Our champion, Bailey Key from Texas Dream, but it was close. Only 3/10 behind Amelia Hunley from Cincinnati Gymnastics. For Samantha Peszek, I'm Amanda Borden. Thanks for joining us. We hope to see you back at the senior session at 7 p.m. Eastern.